Welcome to my channel, welcome back if you are coming back. Today I'm going to do the 50 things about me tag. I think it's a tag. I was born in Bromley, which is southeast London, lived there for 2 weeks. Then I spent the first 20 years of my life growing up in Kent and East Sussex in the southeast of England, and this last year in Brazil. My family and I have always had a lot of pets. When I was younger we had cats, and then we had more cats, and we had chickens, we had fish, then we had more cats. I had a snake, we had a tortoise, we had geckos. I don't have one standout favourite food that I can think of. I just like food in general and trying lots of different types all the time. I've been making ice cream since I was 14 and I currently have 81 different recipes. Growing up I never really had specific fears that I can particularly remember or think of, but my biggest fear is not having children. I have quite a big family. I have lots of uncles and aunts. Each, my mum and my dad's side, I have 10 cousins on each side. I'm the oldest on one side, second oldest on the other side, so I have a lot of young cousins. In school I was always quite academic, in particular with sciences, maths and languages, but I also am quite an arty person, so I like art and music and this sort of stuff as well. I've just realised in making this video that I guess I was kind of a bit of a theatre geek. I was always involved in school plays, actually being in the plays when I was younger, and then doing the tech side of things, lighting and stage management and crew and this sort of stuff, and various other things. The first school play I did was Nativity. I played the king who brings gold. The last school play I actually acted in at the end of prep school, so when I was 12-13, was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I was Willy Wonka. But my all-time favourite school play that I ever did was the year before that. It was We Will Rock You, and it was just amazing. The production was amazing. It was so fun, all the song and dance. We had a proper rock band playing all the Queen songs so well. I also used to be very into dance. I did modern dance and some ballet and like contemporary dance when I was younger, and danced in a lot of school productions and some of the extra sort of music dance performance shows, and even did some of the plays that my year group wasn't in specifically. So when I was like 10 or 11 I learned the waltz for one of the plays. When I was younger I wanted to be a famous musician or pop star. Obviously now I'm a chef and I want to be a chef, but probably my second career of choice now would be to be an architect. My favourite colour is green. My favourite number is 4. I used to play the violin, I used to do singing, play the drums, play the piano, and I still play the piano. And at school, in particular prep school, I was quite involved with music in orchestra, in the choir, the chamber choir, rock band, guitar ensemble. I was in a rock band when I was 13-14. I think we had a pretty successful career for how short it was. And our signature song was Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses. Believe it or not, I could sing that. I like to listen to and play most types of music, only really I'm not a fan of anything that's not at all easy to listen to, like really heavy, hardcore like metal, that sort of stuff. I also like most types of films. Of course my favourites have to be the Harry Potter series, but you know, anything from sort of fantasy and adventure like Lord of the Rings, to rom-coms, I love a good rom-com, to dramas, police drama, anything like that. I am a tea person. I like mochas if they're not too strong on the coffee, and I love coffee in desserts and ice cream and this sort of stuff, but I can't drink it. I've been incredibly lucky in my life to be able to travel loads, and the only continent I have yet to visit is Antarctica. My favourite place to go on holiday used to be Brazil, but I live there now, so I'd definitely say my next favourite is to go skiing in Austria. I'm quite an argumentative person. I will accept that I'm not right if I'm not, but if I know something's categorically wrong, I just can't let something go if I know it's wrong. My favourite room in the Natural History Museum in New York is the room, I don't know what it's called, but with all like the geodes and the minerals and the rocks and all this sort of stuff. I just think it's so interesting, and I love the beauty and intricacy of nature and of science in nature. I can't cry. Unfortunately for me, most of the time I can't cry when I feel like a really good weep would just help me get through what I'm feeling. However, if it's been a while since I last cried and I chop onions, the floodgates open. Literally, it will look like I am sobbing away, chopping these onions, and it's just because that's the only thing that forces the tears out. From the age of 5 till about 13 or 14 years old, I used to wear glasses. I'm really OCD about a lot of things. With numbers, like in particular volume on the radio or the TV, it has to be ending in either an even number or a 5. When I walk on any sort of segmented ground, like a pavement with paved stones or tiles or a tiled floor, anything like this, I have to stand 1 foot in one tile, 1 foot in the next tile, and I can't stand on the cracks. Any sort of touch sensation or pressure on my body has to be symmetrical. So if I step in a slightly different way with one foot, then I have to match that with the other foot. If I have an itch on my left arm and I scratch it, then I have to go and do it on the other side, because otherwise I feel like I've had uneven pressure. Even if I scratch my nose on both sides with one hand, then I have uneven pressure on my left hand, so I then have to go and do it on my right hand as well. There's not one particular thing that I feel like I would say is my biggest achievement, but certainly in the last sort of 2 or 3 years of school, when I was really, I would say, excelling and I was being very productive, I had a lot of momentum, I was constantly like doing things, I got a lot of joy from that, and I felt like I was really achieving. My absolute biggest passion in life is helping people, is being able to just help someone if I'm in a situation, to be able to make it better for them, if I can just make them smile. At the beginning of my last year of school, I made a petition and like launched this whole campaign to get rid of the headmaster and bring down the leadership of the school. I've never been a particularly sporty person. Yes, I like to work out, I like to stay fit through going to the gym and swimming. For me, I'm more interested and I suppose better at some of the more what's considered extreme sports, like rock climbing, kayaking, canoeing, windsurfing, skiing. Equally, I'm not a massive fan of watching sports on the TV. I really can't do it. So I speak English, and I would say I'm more or less fluent in Portuguese now, and I used to have kind of basic working proficiency Spanish, and I did a little bit of French as well. Last year I worked on a film in Denmark, and I did lots of different jobs, including being an extra in various scenes. I play the keyboard and sing in the worship team at my church in Brazil. I currently have 5 tattoos, with more to come, I'm sure. Under my beautiful 21-year-old skin, I am such an old man. I have problems with my knees and my elbows and my wrists and my hands and my fingers. I had a hernia when I was 18. Despite coming across socially as quite a confident person, like I'm very outgoing, I'm happy to talk to anyone, to talk to strangers as well, and hopefully I come across as confident in my videos too. I've always had a lot of insecurities. Luckily in the last sort of 5 years in particular, through the end of school, the last few years doing various things, Brazil, YouTube, everything, I'm really starting to be able to love myself a bit more. If I had to be an animal, I'd probably want to be a monkey, because I love climbing and I'm incredibly fidgety. I have a marriage pact with one of my oldest friends. I've known her since we were 2 or 3 years old. My favourite chef is Heston Blumenthal. I just love science and the science in food. I almost died. We used to have a rib, like a type of speedboat, and my dad, my brother and I, we used to go on these camping holidays. And this one time we were going along the river and we pulled in between this steep bank and this old abandoned ship, and it was moored up with these very fine white lines that weren't easy to see. As we went in, my dad ducked and I didn't see, because I guess I was looking around. Suddenly, just this line caught me right at neck height, and because I was in this seat with a back, I couldn't move backwards with it, so it kind of partially strangled me. Eventually it kind of, I guess, flipped me onto the floor, and I was deeply traumatized. Thank God we weren't going faster, because I may well have been decapitated. My first cuddly, like, stuffed toys that I had when I was a baby, a little sheep in dungarees and a little teddy bear that was kind of sitting down. They were called Lamb Chops and Teddy. I've never really read very much. I really like reading, I love reading. It's just getting to that point of picking up the book and really kind of setting my mind to it, I'm rubbish at. Of course, my favourite book or books are the Harry Potter books. My Hogwarts house is Gryffindor because 1, I'm Harry Potter, and 2, I got sorted on Pottermore. And this is something that people constantly don't believe me about, that I am Harry Potter. So let's just set out the facts. At various stages throughout my life, in various angles, various lighting conditions, I look like him. I had a ginger friend. I used to wear glasses that were like his. I have various gnarly scars on my body, just not on my head. Occasionally I get these sharp shooting pains in my head from Voldemort, because what else would it be? I was a bit of a rebel at school. My initials are HP, and the other day my cousin told me that I looked like him on the front of her Half-Blood Prince book. And finally, everything that I have said in this video is 100% true. Thank you so much for coming and watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a little bit about me and you found it interesting and hopefully entertaining. As always, if you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up, share it, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And I will see you next week.